up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
If you don't like me, but you keep watching my shit, you're still a fan. I can't even begin to explain how many individuals I have on my social media right now talking shit about my message, about me, about how I look, about the individuals I surround myself with who don't follow me, don't like me, and don't actually want to see me succeed. But you still here, homie, so you still a fucking fan. And if you just took your focus off of me, off of my life, my accomplishments, my daily tasks, you would probably already be successful.
Some people are so dumb that I genuinely wonder how they survive from one day to the next. And then I remember that jellyfish have survived for 650 million years with no brain. So I guess if they can do it.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
this because I had to get ready. I don't know if you guys saw my note. I popped into Dolly Vision and said, you know, we are going to be getting the coffee club back on its original scheduled time. I know it's been crazy because we've been in Georgia, we've been in Idaho, we've just gone all over the place seeking answers. Is this still live, Jennifer? It just started, so you're good. You're good, my love. You're good. You're here. You're here. So yeah, we just started, you know, kind of going back to, there's a lot of stuff that went on this year. You know, we've been kind of gone. Things have gotten out of sorts since Quentin Simon, us staying a month in Georgia, fighting for a 20-month-old child that disappeared, and everything showed that mom did it. When we arrived in town, you know, law enforcement named her as the primary and only suspect, but left her on the streets. And then shortly after that, we came home. You know, we had Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know, now New Year's. And before Christmas, Olivia and I went out to the Idaho 4, froze our rear ends off. First YouTubers out. Well, second YouTubers out, because Chris McDonough did go out, and he is a YouTuber at the end of the day. Right? We have to remember he's a YouTuber, and I forget that. So, you know, and Chris McDonough went out there. He was able to find a glove. We were out there, I think, the week later. And, you know, this case kind of got a little crazy, and, you know, 3-hour time difference. This is my third trip back out to Idaho, because I went for Michael Monkey Vaughn with Dolly Vision. And we hung up flyers and put the banner up and whatnot. Out there. So this is my third trip to Idaho in the last 2 or 3 months. So the channel kind of got all crazy, and we haven't quite got it back yet. But another thing over the last year that you guys have watched me go through is you've watched me go through complete hell just to be a content creator, just to do something that I was passionate about. You guys watched me my whole entire life be put upside down. You watched people watch every single thing that I did, every little move I made on any social media platform. I had to lock down everything. I had to, you know, stop. You know, I literally can't even accept any more new friends on my platforms because of the cyber stalking that I have undergone. You guys watched me from being a person that went out into the world a lot on personal stuff, not just for business, not just for these cases. And you watched that just stop. I used to go to the beach a lot. Stop doing that. You've watched people turn my entire life upside down. You've watched people drive by my home taking photos. You've watched me getting doxxed. You've watched people literally putting my life in jeopardy over what? A true crime channel on YouTube, because I am good at what I do, and they don't want to admit it. They want to, you know, destroy me and destroy my brand and destroy my reputation personally and professionally, because someone, a small little segment of this entire billion-person population, doesn't like what I do. And people have acted like that I have to deal with it. And I've said, no, I don't. And nobody else does. So we are putting that in action, because if anybody knows anything about Bullhorn Betty, anything about me personally, which these jellyfish have no clue who I am or what I will do when it's the right fight. You guys have watched me fight for these victims. I forget every now and again I'm a victim of myself, not to the tragedy of the victims we cover, but what I have been put through this last year. And in an effort to regain my life, in an effort for others out there to regain their life, I'm now putting action behind this. And it starts at home.
How to use a different name. Okay, Andra, Manatee County. Happy New Year to everybody. This is my, am I loud enough? Andrew Griffin, Manatee County. Did I get it? Okay. Happy New Year. This is the first time I've been here physically in a while. I just want to thank and congratulate Amy, Jason, and Mike for winning your election. And I would like to take a moment just to speak and just to say, you know, thank you to all you guys for standing up for us. A lot of you guys are here because of the rogue board we had before. And just want to thank you for that. As far as the legislation or the legislative priorities for this county, I do agree that we need to look at lobbyists. 1998 are crazy. Yes, our needs have definitely changed. But there's a couple things that aren't on your priorities. And one, and I'm going to be meeting with you guys this year on cyber stalking. There's been a lot that has gone on this last year with me personally, and I'm not going to go into it because I know this is specific for the agenda items, but this is definitely a personal item for me, and I will be addressing with you guys, each and every one of you, the need for tougher laws for adults. And with that, congratulations. We'll see you at 1:30. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else who?
So, as I said, there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. And if I'm not getting the answers that I need to get when I'm doing them the right thing, then something has to change. And I can guarantee there is nobody better suited and better equipped to not only address this with the state of Florida, but to address this across the country. And I plan on doing just that. From here moving forward, I also wanted to say that this is not my only legislative priority. I'm going to take you to my email that was sent to all my county commissioners, including my state representative that goes to the U.S. Congress, but all of my state representatives that also handle the state Congress here in Florida. And we're going to discuss those very, hold on a second, apparently, it's entirely too large. Okay, now I can open it up. And I wanted you guys to see exactly what my priorities. Can I open this so it's bigger? I just want this. Let me see, I'll just do this. There we go. Okay. Just don't want to dox people. So we want to make sure this is, you know, right. So here is my letter to my county commissioners, including my state and U.S. representatives. And it says, to whom it may concern. There are 3 major priorities I will be working on for the next few years and will need support of this board and the state of Florida as a whole. Tougher cyber stalking laws for individuals over the age of 18. I have suggestions that might help since I've lived through this the last year. Centralized database for all cases related to child welfare so states can communicate between each other when cases stretch across state lines. Sex trafficking. Government statistics do not match my findings. This is a much bigger problem than we are led to believe, and this stretches across the world. I would like to start meeting with each of you related to these above priorities and provide my thoughts about each. Please do not respond to all. Please respond individually so there are no sunshine violation issues. Thank you in advance for your prompt attention or your prompt response to this email. So that is, again, the stuff that we do. Again, Carla, I still have you up on screen. Thank you again for that super chat or super sticker. Thank you so much. So, you know, it's not all just about going out and covering these cases and doing things. It's also about taking what I'm learning out here in the field and finding ways to fix the problems at hand. And the only way I can fix these problems or start working on fixing these problems at hand is a grassroots effort. A grassroots effort. We have 401 people in this chat room right now, and there are 401 people that can go out into their community and be pushing these legislative priorities. Anybody that watches this on the replay crew, you know, this might be an opportunity for you to start writing that same letter. And if you would like, if you're interested in it, I'm happy to write something, leave some blanks in there so you guys can download the form letter and make it your own and start emailing that out to your county, your county commissioners, your city council, your state and federal representatives. You know, this is something that we all agree needs to happen. You know, we're watching this unfold each and every day about this child, the alphabet soup of child welfare, and no one's really doing anything about it. Well, I am. I'm trying. But this is much bigger. You know, this is a huge feat. This is something that's going to take, like the centralized database, if we start now, if we all start now on pushing this through and getting our, you know, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle we're on. I could care less. This is much bigger than our political petty nonsense. This is something we can all agree on. This is a bipartisan, you know, suggestion. You know, we need a centralized database for our children. Our children are most vulnerable. I'm sorry, we all bleed red and we all have hearts and we're all human at the end of the day, the last time I checked. And the last time I checked, we care about our children in this country. So we need help. It's not going to fix itself. We've left it to the government to try to fix for how many decades? It's not working. It's not working. Let's have a conversation about that. So I will start working on that. You guys can do, if this is something that you guys can agree with and you want to do this, if you live in the United States of America, it doesn't matter where you send this. It doesn't matter what county, what city, what state representative you send it. Anybody matters. Anybody in politics matters, because it's going to take a whole lot of them to put something like this together and push something like this through. This is something that we've been talking about for a year. And me personally haven't really put a whole lot of weight behind that other than speaking about it. And as part of 2023 and the goals that are being set here on the Bullhorn Betty channel and me personally, it is time to fight for these kids and it's time to fight hard. So I've seen a lot over the years. I've digested a lot over this last year being a content creator on YouTube covering true crime. And it's not all about, and I've always said this, it's not about complaining all the time. It's about taking that and doing something with it. If you don't like it, you fix it. And that's what we're going to start doing. That is a 2023 goal for the Bullhorn Betty channel. First goal already kicked off in 2023. We're already moving something forward with our children. We're already moving something forward so we can start having tougher laws. And I guarantee you, once Florida starts picking up on tougher cyber stalking laws, it will start following suit. We'll start seeing other states follow suit. Other states can be the first, and Florida can follow suit. But I don't care who does what. We're doing something. Something's going to happen as social media starts exploding and more social media platforms are built each and every day. We're going to, have more and more cyber stalking, and it's dangerous. And there has to be penalty for putting people in jeopardy. And these are the three major priorities that I have set for 2023 to 2027. I will be making sure I monitor and make sure I'm making progress on all three of them. I personally believe the cyber stalking laws for Florida will be much easier to get passed through in a lot sooner time frame than the unfortunately, than the children stuff, the ST priorities I have, and as well as the ST priorities as I have, as well as the database for the kids. So I'm going to be meeting with the representatives that I can to help start pushing some of these great legislative priorities forward over the next few years. And I hope I have and I'm pretty confident I have at least 95% of the support in this chat room. So if you guys support those for the Bullhorn Betty channel, please go and put a 1 in the chat. Prayer hands for all the victims. And, it's all about being part of the change. It's all about not having to worry to stand, not worrying to stand alone on certain things, as long as you're standing alone for the right reasons. I'd rather be standing alone and being lonely than being in a crowd and being just horrible and wrong and doing the wrong things. So yeah, I think those are really good priorities for us at the Bullhorn Betty channel. Again, it is about not just bringing these cases to you, but we're finding out a fatal flaw that's putting a lot of our young children that are already being harmed by their parents in more jeopardy because of the lack of resources that are needed to follow these kids and make sure that they're stay safe even as they travel across state lines with their parents. And then, of course, the ST, we all know that when I came onto this channel, I just thought, it's something that's being blown out of proportion. But I myself, now that we had that gentleman being FBI 10 most wanted found over in Spain, and knowing the horrific stuff that he has done to children and what he has produced for many sickos to watch is disgusting and appalling. And that just kind of really, solidifies and drives home the worldwide networking necessary to do that. You don't get to be a United States citizen over in Spain doing these despicable things and there not be a worldwide connection or an underbelly society that has allowed this man to do that. That's a lot of stinking money. Think about it. Where the hell did the money come from? It came from people like him purchasing this crap from him all over the world to make him so wealthy that he can literally jump from country to country to avoid being arrested and brought back here to be held accountable for his actions. That is the true facts about ST across this world. We are not being told that by our government. The statistics from our government are somewhat low when you look at the worldwide problem. It's a sick, disgusting revelation in 2023 that these children and adults are being forced into something so despicable, something that should be beautiful and consensual. So again, some people do things their way. This is how Bullhorn Betty does her thing. If I see something wrong, I go to the people that can help create the change that is necessary. I don't sit here and bitch about it for years and years and years and still sit in the same chair and bitch about it. So, we got up. We went to the hearing or the work session today. We did start planting the seed for the priorities on here. And I know for a fact, as they're discussing their legislative priorities, I know people from my Congress here in the state of Florida are watching, and they're watching what I'm saying. And they were all tagged in my email. And I do plan on meeting with each and every one of them. I can tell you, when I get involved in something, no matter what, somehow, some way, it's going to be pushed through. It just matters. It just depends on how much arm wrestling I'm willing to do, right? Sometimes I'll get something that people are like, if I can craft it the proper way, it's a no-brainer. It goes right through. But if there's going to be, hiccups, because I know the priorities related to the database, this is going to be, it's going to be an uphill battle, because it's going to cost a shit ton of money to build a database for the entire country to use. It's going to be a lengthy process, and it's going to be a costly process. And I realize that. And with those two factors is what's going to make it such a hard fight. But I am prepared for it. And if that means I have to go and start bitching in DC, guess what? I'll start going to DC and start bitching in DC if I have to, if it's going to get the job done. Because you guys know, I'm not scared of a bullhorn. I'm not scared of protesting. I'm not scared of having my voice be heard. And this is a fight we all need to be fighting. All right. Now that all the business is out of the way. So, what have we learned about Bryan Kohberger? Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Oh, $1.99 super sticker. Thank you, Love Buck. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. God bless you. Oh, I love it. I need to go back to the gym. That emoji, that emoji reminds me of somebody working out. And I haven't worked out. I don't even want to get on the scale because I've been eating horrible food. I've been here eating horrible food, fattening food, stuff with preservatives and right? So I don't know. Oh, thank you, Blue Eyes. Yeah, I work really hard, guys. I got to tell you, it's so funny because I haven't spoke because I've been calling in. So I've been listening, but they haven't been really taking phone calls. And we fought so hard to have our phone system, to have, this stuff. So I'm going to have to work with the county commissioners on that because I really want to be involved, but you guys know I'm on the road a lot. So, but it always is nice that I can call in and have my comments recorded in their meetings. But here lately, it hasn't been that way. And it's a little, it's hard because I travel. I can't help it, but I still want the best for my community, like many of you guys do. So hopefully we'll work on that. We'll see. Keep fingers crossed. We'll see what we can do. We'll see if we strum up at least 4 votes to support in calls, calling in comments. We're going to cross our fingers. Oh, absolutely. M&M Racing. Absolutely. But this is not a fight just here for Florida. This is a fight I'm going to be taking across the country, right? Might as well be, I can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? Anytime I go into a community to cover a true crime case, why not meet with the representatives? Why not meet with their county commissioners, their city council, their state representatives from that community? Why not meet with them and tell them about what I do and tell them about the 3 priorities that I have and start making it an opportunity to network with, politicians as well as, help create change across this country. So yeah, we're going to go nationwide with our 3 priorities. We sure are. So I'm really excited for 2023, but I'm telling you guys, I am ultra focused. I want to make sure that there are changes, and there will be nothing more pleasing for me to have tougher cyber stalking changes around this country as the big middle finger to all the people that put me through pure hell for the last year. I am coming for you one way or another. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. I want you guys to, call in. Hold on, let me get over there first. I want you guys to call in and let me know what's going on in the case. We know that Bryan Kohberger has landed. I don't know when his first, is this the right one? No, it's not the right one. Sorry, guys. When his first hearing will be here. I would think it would be today, but depending, because he came in so late last night, I'm not sure. Well, I guess he really didn't. It was late here. It was like 12 or 11:30. So you remove 3 hours, so it was like 8:30 or something whenever he was booked in. Check out Operation Light Shine. Okay, let me star you so I can keep you up there. Thank you for that, Jamie, for that information. Did y'all go ahead and throw in a Dabo again? I don't know what that means. Let's not forget to oh yeah, guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It is free to tell me and the mods that work very hard in this chat that you thank them and you had an enjoyable experience. You know, it's not just about the content, but you guys get to talk and have a good time in the chat with each other and get to visit with each other and everything like that. So if you would like, it's free. Again, just to say thank you. We try to get them up to 1,000 because, and everybody, you guys hear that across the board, we're 1,000. It's because when you get 1,000 likes, it kind of just puts you in a different algorithm that pushes you out on the For You page of YouTube. And it just helps promote the channel. It helps promote the segment. So if you guys are, just remember that that's the target number for those that come here religiously. We need to try to get those up to 1,000. And if you find the content entertaining, if you find the content informative, you know, consider liking this segment. Bryan is in court now. Started at 9:30. Is it publicized anywhere? Let me start looking for it, guys. I need you guys to start looking to see if we have a live feed from inside the courtroom. Do we know what judge he has? I have all the judges, all the district court judges' username and passwords for Zoom, for the Zoom call. So if we just need, I just need to know what judge he's in front of as well. So let me see if Bryan Kohberger, Mascow. Let's look at Latah hearing. Latah hearing, court hearing. Let's see what we got. I'm just going to pull this up for a second. Let me just read, make sure I'm not missing anything real quick. 12:30 Eastern. Cameras are allowed, but can't show footage until it's over. Okay. Cameras are allowed, but can't show footage until it's over. I need to still, because the day I went out there, I need to work with Latah County Media just to make sure that I can. Usually they only have one camera crew inside that all media have to pull from. They can't, you know, it's not theirs. They can't brand it. They can't not share it. They have to share it because they're the ones responsible and the ones that gets the courtesy of getting that footage. So I don't know if it's that kind of a situation in that courtroom or if I can set up mine in the back, my little, you know, my little phone. I can tell you I am working on getting a more robust camera. So we'll see how that works. That's going to be one of the items that I want to get this year. It's about $3,500 and we will get it one way or another this year. So that is a priority for the show. And it's a nicer camera. It's one that I can hook up to a live view bag. And once I get everything set up, it's going to take probably the next year to get all the equipment to run live from a really good recorder. But I do plan on doing that because we're going live so much from these scenes that you guys need to have a better quality view and a better quality viewing experience. So we are working on that. I am budgeting on that. So I'm giving myself, I'd like to get everything I need for that in the next year, but I gave myself 18 months to get it all acquired. So I can save and things of that nature. So just FYI, that is forthcoming. That is a priority here, a personal priority here for the show. Betty, thank you for all you do. And thank you for making ST one of the 3 goals you have for this year. That is amazing, especially the post few years. ST has gotten so much worse for adults and kids. Yes, Caitlin, that is absolutely correct. But I was very purposeful in this. You know, this is one thing that we cover here on this show. So for me not to make that the the cornerstone of my priorities for this year, everything that I brought up is everything over the last year we have garnered from this show. From the what is happening, what I've experienced and what I feel could really be meaningful and effective change. And a lot of thought has gone into it. I know you guys think right before Christmas, yeah, while I'm, a little, I get seasonal depression and stuff, but I know you guys think the 2 weeks off, the 10 days that I took off, was 100% for personal reasons. It was not. Many of you guys know I talk about setting goals. That does not take. It's not easy to set realistic goals and measures and things to do for this year. It takes time. It takes a lot of thinking, a lot of thought process that goes into it. So even down to who I'd like to collaborate with this year, and some personal health type of goals as well. All those things go in there, and this is part of that. So as you guys know, I am a workaholic. So I don't get 2 weeks off, and when I'm silent, you got to know that I'm thinking. I'm putting stuff together, right? I'm planning something big. So, and I've never taken 10 days off in a solid year. And for this one, I did. I took time, and I really was very thoughtful in what I was wanting to do in 2023. There are a few people that were, things that it's crazy because I always believe things happen for a reason. And so even like relationships, like what I hope, to accomplish with MGL, Justice, House of Williams, Chronicles of Olivia. We've got a good network, Dolly Vision, Jonathan Lee Riches. We have other people in the peripheral, such as, 10 to Life, It's a Crime, things that we watch and we aren't plunder. We're not connected to them, but they have such great content. It's hard not to talk about them because they're very thorough and they're as dedicated as many of us are. They just have a different way of, explaining their position and their information about the facts that are coming in. So, there's just a lot of people that we support, not necessarily that support us back, but that we support because of the content that they're creating is legit content. And that's what we like. But, even after the first of the year, there was already, and those weren't all the people. Like I've got other people, behind the scene people and things of that nature. And it's hard because you got to go through here and say, last year, how did this relationship go? Was it as mutually beneficial as it was before? And, if it wasn't, it's kind of like, well, in 2023, maybe it's time to distance yourself and move in a different direction. So even people there was a few people on my list going into 2023 that like literally the day or two after 2023 were literally scratched off and removed. It's just crazy. It's tough, but we're going to get through it. But anyways, getting back here, this is what the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about. This is Bryan. Apparently he was in court this morning. Let's hear what they had to say from people. This is KREM. KREM as the news station that interviewed Olivia and myself out in front of the Idaho 4 house. Very nice people, and just they do the best they can, and they've been doing awesome reporting in the area, and just highly respected. Really like their personalities and their professionalism. So just a big shout out to KREM and its reporters.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza.
And we'll support
we do meatballs
them.
And marinara.
If I got to support them, you're supporting them too. We're watching. You guys got to watch. I got to watch.
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Yeah. See what they got going on here. So this again is from KREM. This is apparently Bryan Kohberger,
University of Idaho
being flown in
last night. We tracked his plane throughout the day yesterday as it crossed the country from Pennsylvania. 20 minutes after 20.
Did anybody else find it odd? Did anybody else find it odd that it took him so long to get? Because I mean, direct flight. A direct flight to. I gotta plug my phone up so my vape can charge. My vape is dead. There we go. it takes like 5 hours to get over to Idaho from Pennsylvania, because Florida is much further than Pennsylvania is, and it takes 5 hours for a direct flight here. How do we know? And that was from Washington, even further north, west. And so I have to think to get into Mascow, Idaho, it would have been less. So I just found it very odd that this was an ultra long flight. And I'm curious as to why. Did they stop him somewhere, like an FBI, facility, and interrogate the crap out of him or something? Did they waterboard him? Like, what did they do to this man? He was traveling like, a really long time. Like, he showed up and Idaho does get dark really, really early. Like, it's dark at 5. That's what we heard. Fueling. We heard it was fueling purposes. But you think the FBI would have had, it'd be kind of like the plane that we have. Like, they fly a plane in there. They already have the other plane ready and fueled up. You just got to move the person and the luggage into the new plane and get them off. And then on their way back, they bring the other plane back, grab their other plane and go back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would have thought that this would have been a little bit, I don't know. But even refueling, I mean, how long does it take to refuel a plane? It can't take 5 hours to refuel a plane. Am I missing something here? So people are saying it was a smaller plane, couldn't get top speed, only 120 miles an hour. Maybe it's too dangerous to keep moving him from plane to plane. I don't know. Yeah, good perspective. But I just thought it was odd. I really did. I just thought it was completely, utterly odd that they took so long to get him there. I don't know. And it was so funny because somebody made a post and it's like, who knew that they would take him 4 million hours to get him back to Idaho or something like that. And I kind of chuckled. I'm like, that's a bad chuckle, but it's kind of funny how they wrote it. Olivia sent it to me. So
police moved him to a sheriff's pickup truck and escorted him to the Latah County Jail. A large crowd of Mascow residents and students even gathered to watch as he arrived. Well, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. Brand new this morning, we received Kohberger's new book.
It was good to hear that, students were actually there to watch this monster go to jail. There's nothing more pleasing for me as a human being than to watch a monster be walked into jail and know that that's where he's going to be for the foreseeable future. There's nothing more prideful than seeing that. This case was very humbling. And, Olivia and I talked about, after meeting with the family and literally learning of Kaylee and Manatee, it's like they inspire us to be better. Like, we're talking about, almost like, what would Kaylee do? It sounds a little crazy, but she was a very determined young lady. She was ultra determined. She knew what she wanted, like, just being so young and having such a knowledge. Like, she knew what she wanted to do. She just kicked in the door and went at it, right? With everything she had. She played hard. She worked hard. She was graduating 2 years earlier. We hear of this story about this, this boyfriend or this date she went on. And he, said something to the effect of, make me a quesadilla, BITC, you know what I'm saying? And he was just joking, I'm sure. And we don't know if that was Bryan Kohberger or not. We were never provided a name of the person. That was the first thing I thought of whenever I heard the bar owner talk about how he's called some female patron or female staff members that very word, and it just a light bulb went off on my eye above my head. So I don't know. I really don't think that he dated her, but I don't know. If it came out, it wouldn't surprise me. But just even her hearing that word and it being a joke, and her packing her stuff and walking out the door, that was inspiring. That should be inspiring to women across this country. You don't have to be talked to like that. It was so appalling to her to be called that word that, she picked up her stuff, walked back, and never looked back since. And I keep thinking, and Olivia and I thought about it. We were talking about it. We're like, would we have reacted the same way? And we both said no. And it's like, we asked each other, should we act the same way? And the answer is yes. Like, who's going to respect you if you don't respect yourself, right? So I think that's a lesson all of us can learn. And, being treated badly, like she was offended and she wasn't going to take it. And it was like one and done. Like that was the first and last chance. Like, nope, that was it. Sorry. Like, and I just think more of us should be more like Kaylee in that respect. So affidavit is out. Thank the Lord. Okay. Affidavit is out. All right, guys, give me just a second. Let me pull you back. If anybody's got a link to the affidavit, email it to me and tell me you emailed it. Put big red signs so I can see it. So Bryan, Idaho, court records. There we are. I'll make sure. I pray to God it is in this freaking county, because it worries me so much that they don't have this stuff up to date on the end that I have. And I've been looking for it, and they still never had it in the system. But if somebody's there, they got it. Got it. Which one is it? Is this the murder? Yeah, that's the restraint. Shit. Together. Shit. Hold on, guys. All right, we're about to do it. Hold on, let me get it open. I don't know if it's attached. We'll find out if it's attached. We'll see. We'll see if it's attached. Here we go. Where are they? Where's the paperwork? Hold on, guys. Complaint. Redacted. Why don't they have any of these? It's on here, but they're not showing us anything. They're not letting us pull the records off. How do we get the records? I'm gonna have to call up there. Maybe I gotta sign in. Hold on, guys. Let me pull this back real quick. I don't want you guys seeing my login credentials. All right. Well, I'm going to have to call up to the court and get it. Let me see if I can find it's emailed. Okay, thank you. Let me see if I can find it. Thank you, guys. Affidavit. Awesome. How do you guys find this? Why isn't it opening for me like that? Interesting. All right, guys, it's opening now. Let me go over here. I'm going to change the name going on this and saying breaking. Give me just a second. I know you guys can see breaking Bryan Kohberger. Probable. Okay. Just let people know that we're doing a probable cause affidavit review on this case. Just changed it. Perfect. Okay. It's still loading, guys, as you can see. It's still loading. Boy, it's taken a long time to load. Let me pull this back because I don't want to dox people. Check and see if there's another way to load it a little quicker. No. I guess we're at its mercy, but it's going to be loading, so give it just a second. As soon as it's loaded, it must be pretty extensive. That's Exhibit A. So affidavit, Exhibit A, statement of Brett Payne. Brett Payne was the lead investigator in this case. Ricky Beavers, nice to see you. I got your messages. Sorry I haven't responded. I haven't had an opportunity. Why is this thing? Hold on, guys. Yeah, let me exit out of this. There we go. We're still waiting. It's still loading. It's loading slow. I'm not sure. I reset both links. Well, it's the right link. It's just taken forever. No, it's just taking forever to load. Is it on? I think take it. It's on Facebook. Let me see if I can get on Facebook and it's on my personal account. There's Idaho. All right, here it is. I'm surprised they're allowed to. Yeah, we're still clicking through on the things, but I got it pulled up here. Let's go ahead and go through it. On my end, it's blurry. Let's see if I can open this up a little. Okay, that's about as. So here we go, guys. Here's the affidavit. This is the order. Order governs. So this is. Says order governing courthouse and courtroom conduct. I don't know if this is necessarily his the one that goes through the probable cause affidavit, but we're still loading that. It's loading. I'll refresh this one. See if I can get it to push through. I'd like to get the original if possible. But over here, order governs courthouse, courtroom conduct, and media activity. Court is mindful of the need to balance the constitutional rights of the defendant to fair hearing and the public's right to information in conjunction with constitutional and statutory rights of media attending proceedings. The court's interest in maintaining order and an environment that permits all participants to focus on their responsibilities without undue distraction. For the court's interest in the safety of the public and court personnel and the need to follow all Idaho Supreme Court orders as may be changed or amended from time to time. With these factors in mind, pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative blah, 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 seating for victims' family. They're saying certain seating may be reserved for counsel, authorized personnel, and victims' families, the defendants' families, and the victims' families. Pooled media seating. The representative of media serving as a pool camera staff shall be seated in the area approved by the court as designated by the district judge. So that's that whole, there's only one person allowed to be doing that. 2 media members operating pooled broadcasting recording of the hearing, and 1 media member handling the pooled still photography. So they have 2 recorders and 1 still photographer that we're going to have to be providing that from. So I'm not going to go through here because this is really not really anything, to be honest with you. So I'm still waiting for the affidavit of probable cause to be realized, and it's still taking its sweet time. I don't know what's going on here. And the link's not working. Let me see if there's any more on here related to this case. Yeah, I don't see anything for the probable cause affidavit coming out. And the loading of this affidavit is not. If anybody can send me another link, I want to pull it up. But I don't know if everybody under the sun is just in this email right now or what. But it looks like it's if somebody can download the affidavit in a PDF and email it to me, that would be great. Bright, I don't know. Fine here. Okay, Twitter. Okay, they're talking about the televised. Okay, here we go. Okay, we got it. Okay, here it is. This is the probable cause affidavit. It has been redacted. So he's got 1 count of burglary. He's got 4 counts of first-degree murder. The court finds probable cause to believe the defendant committed the crime. I wish there's a way I can download this. Is there a way I can download this? Download this file. There we go. Hold on. Let me do something real quick, and then we'll go through this. I need to get this out to everybody. Actually, they'll be able to find it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Serena. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. All right, so this is redacted. It's just basically saying no bail. The warrant shall be issued, setting bail amount, and it says no bail pursuant to their code. And that was signed 12/29, 2:22 p.m. by the magistrate judge, Megan Marshall. It was hand delivered, and that's what we have for that. Is that all we have for that? Just the probable cause order? Let me keep going. Let me go back to the email. Let me pull this back to email. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Okay, here it is. Here's 19 pages. Let me download this too. Are you guys being able to see this? I really can't enlarge. Well, I guess I could enlarge it a little bit. Let me see if I can enlarge it. There we go. I think that's good. So Exhibit A, statement from Brett Payne. The below information is provided by Brett Payne, who is duly appointed, qualified, and acting peace officer within the county of Latah, state of Idaho. Brett Payne has employed the Mascow Police Department in the official capacity or position of corporal and has been trained and a qualified peace officer for approximately 4 years. Corporal Payne is being assisted by members of Idaho State Police and agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. On November 13th at approximately 4 p.m., Mascow Police Department Sergeant Blake and I responded to 1122 King Road, Mascow, Idaho, after the King Road residents, hereinafter referred to as the King Road residents, to assist with scene security and process of crime scene associated with 4 homicides. Upon arrival, the Idaho State Police, which is referred to as ISP forensic team was on the scene and was preparing to begin to process the scene. Mascow Police Department Officer Smith, one of the initial responding officers to the incident, advised he would walk me through the scene. Officer Smith and I entered the King Road residence through the bottom floor door on the north side of the building. Officer Smith and I walked upstairs to the second floor. Officer Smith directed me down the hall to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned through Xana's driver's license and other personal belongings found in the room was Xana Kernodle's, hereinafter Kernodle, room. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body. So as he approached the room, he could see a body. So let's read that statement before. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body later identified as Kernodle laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Also in the room was a male, later identified as Ethan Chapin, hereinafter Chapin. Chapin was deceased with wounds later determined, autopsy report by Spokane County Medical Examiner dated December 5th to be caused by sharp force injuries. Then Officer Smith upstairs. I followed up Officer Smith upstairs to the third floor of the residence. The third floor consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee Gonzalez, later hereinafter referred to as Gonzalez's room. I later learned from the review of Police Nunez body camera there was a dog in the room when Mascow police officers initially responded. The dog belonged to Gonzalez and her ex-boyfriend, Jack DeCour. Now, that tells us the dog was in Kaylee's room. The dog was in Kaylee's room. I found out from my interview with Jack DeCour on November 13th that he and Gonzalez shared the dog. Officer Smith then pointed out a small bathroom on the east side of the third floor. The bathroom shared a wall with Maddie Mogan, hereinafter Mogan's bedroom, which was situated on the southeast corner of the third floor. As I entered the bedroom, I could see 2 females in the single bed in the room. Both Gonzalez and Mogan were deceased with visible stab wounds. I also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife sheathing laying on the bed next to Mogan's right side. Boom. There you go. That's how they knew what knife to look for so early on prior to the autopsies coming back. Because they found the holder of the knife that was used, the tan leather knife sheathing was laying on the bed next to Mogan's right side when viewed from the door. So he accidentally left the sheathing there. Could they have gotten DNA off that? Probably. The sheathing was later processed and had KBAR and USMC and the United States Marine Corps Eagle Globe and Arch Signia stamped on the outside of it. The Idaho State Lab later located the single source of male DNA, suspect's profile, left on the button strap of the knife sheathing. That is slam dunk. Why in the hell is your DNA on the cover of the weapon that was used to slaughter 4 people? That is going to be a hard issue to overcome. That means that he cannot use, I was just in the house. My DNA was left there because I was left there because I attended a party at the house. This is huge. Huge. This is as good as having the scrapings under a victim's nail, his DNA up under their nails. It is as good as that to have your DNA on the cover of the murder weapon. The cover of the murder weapon. Wow. Wow. All right. As part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Mascow Police Department, Idaho State Police, and the FBI agents. 2 of the interviews, including BF, DM, both BF and DM were inside King Road at the time of the homicide. So BF is Bethany Funk, DM is Dylan Mortensen. At the time of the homicide, and were roommates to the victims' BF's room. Homicide and were roommates to the victims. BF's room was located on the east side of the first floor residence. So she was on the first floor. So Bethany Funk was definitely on the first floor, and she was on the east side of the first floor of the residence. We're going to look at the makeup of this. I've got a clipboard I'm going to grab, and it has the makeup of their of this. And actually, I might have it here. I think I did leave it here. So it appears that we do have, let me pull this, hold on, we'll get back to this. It does appear that we have, there we go. We have this right. Can you guys see that? So it does kind of break it down on the second floor, and it does appear that they have Bethany and Dylan. Well, we'll see. We only got to Bethany. So they're saying that she was definitely on the floor, on the ground. So here's the makeup of the house. Obviously Kaylees over here, Maddie's in the back side. And then you've got Ethan and Xana, and then the 2 girls down here on the bottom floor here. So we do have the makeup of that. I'll try to scan this in before we get off here so we can take a look at it and then reread this affidavit, and point out where and make sure that this is an accurate depiction of at least the room and where everybody was at the time of this crime. Based on numerous interviews conducted by Mascow Police Department, the Idaho State Police detectives, FBI agents, as well as my review of evidence, I've learned the following. Now it's going to break down the case. On the evening of November 12, 2022, Chapin and Kernodle are seen by Bethany Funk at the Sigma Chi house on the University of Idaho campus, and they have the address from approximately 9 p.m. To 1:45. Now, I have an issue with that very first statement because everybody has told us that Bethany Funk was out in other areas of the community the night that this happened. She was out in other parts of the community the night that this happened, and that her and Dylan Mortensen arrived home around 1 a.m. in the morning, and then followed by Ethan and Xana, and then Kaylee and Maddie. So how can Bethany Funk see them at the Sigma Chi fraternity house from approximately 9 p.m. to 1:45? That doesn't make sense, but I'm sure hopefully that will be clarified. BF also estimated that at approximately 1:45 a.m. What does it say? Let me just read that whole thing. It says, oh, sorry, I should have it up for you guys. It says, on the evening of November 12, 2022, Chapin and Kernodle are seen by Bethany Funk at the Sigma Chi house on University of Idaho campus, and they give the address from approximately 9 p.m. on November 12 to 1:45 on November 13th. Bethany Funk also estimated that at approximately 1:45. So she was saying that she also estimated that it was approximately 1:45. That doesn't make sense to what they've been telling us this whole time. So I'm a little concerned about that. Chapin and Kernodle returned to the King Road residence. BF also stated that Chapin did not live in King Road residence, but was a guest of Kernodle. Gonsalves and Mogan were at a local bar, the Corner Club, at 202 North Main Street in Mascow. Gonsalves and Mogan can be seen in video footage by the Corner Club between 10 p.m. on November 12th to 1:30 a.m. on November 13th. At approximately 1:30 a.m., Gonsalves and Mogan can be seen on video at a local food vendor called the Grub Truck at 318 South Main Street in downtown Mascow. The Grub Truck live stream video from their food truck on the streaming platform Twitch, which is available for public viewing on their website. The video was captured by law enforcement. A private party, Blank, reported that he provided the ride to Gonsalves and Mogan at approximately 1:56 a.m. from downtown Mascow in front of the Grub Truck to the residence at King Road. Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were home by 2 a.m. and asleep or at least in their rooms by approximately 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. New information we did not know. So we got an estimated time of death between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. And if she's receiving and opening the door at 4 a.m. and receiving DoorDash food, then clearly it didn't happen between 3 and 4 a.m. Let's keep going. Dylan Mortensen stated she originally went to sleep in her room on the southeast side of the second floor. Dylan Mortensen was on the second floor, guys. Dylan Mortensen, second floor in a room down the hall. Down the hall. This is groundbreaking. Like, she was on the second floor. People couldn't understand if she was on the second floor or not. So let's keep reading. Dylan Mortensen stated she went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. So let's look at this. So here, I need to scan this in. So here we have, where am I? We're going this way. Okay, so here we have Bethany down here on the first floor. That appears to be right. However, Dylan is over here. And it looks like she moved up here. So she was on this side of the house. This is Dylan's room. So now Dylan is not on the bottom floor. She is up here. She's up here. So on the south second floor, Dylan Mortensen stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Gonsalves playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which were located on the third floor. A short time later, Dylan Mortensen said she heard what she thought was Gonsalves saying something to the effect, "There's someone here." A review of records obtained from forensic download of Kernodle's phone showed this could have been Kernodle, as her cell phone indicated she was likely awake using the TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m. Dylan Mortensen stated she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. Dylan Mortensen said she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. DM then said she heard a male's voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Oh my God. Oh my God. At approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located at 1112 King Road, a residence immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road, picked up a distorted audio of what sounded like voices or whimpering, followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times starting at 4:17 a.m. The security camera is less than 50 feet away from the west wall of Kernodle's room. This is sad. Dylan Mortensen stated she opened her door for the third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking toward her. Dylan Mortens described the figure being 5'10" or taller male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The man walked past Dylan Mortensen as she stood in a frozen, shocked face. He let her live. Why did she call the police? The male walked towards the black backsliding door. DM locked herself in her room after seeing the male. DM did not state that she recognized the male. This leads investigators to believe that the murderer left the scene. The combination of Dylan Mortensen's statement to law enforcement, review of forensic downloads of records from Bethany Funk and Dylan Morton's phone, videos of the suspect, video of a suspect video as described below leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25. Again, much different than the 3 to 4 a.m. we were told. During the proceedings, pull it back up. During the proceedings of the crime scene, hold on a second. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators found that a latent shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene by the Idaho State Police forensic team by first using a presumption of blood test, then amino black, a protein stain that detects the presence of cellular material. The detected shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern similar to the pattern of a Vans type shoe sole. Just outside of the door of Dylan Morton's bedroom, located on the second floor. This is consistent with DM's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. As a part of the investigation, an extensive search, commonly referred to as law enforcement as video canvas, was conducted in the area of King Road residents. This video canvas was to obtain any footage from earlier morning hours of November 13th in the area of King Road residents and surrounding neighborhoods in an effort to locate the suspect or suspects traveling to or leaving from the King Road residence. This video canvas resulted in the collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both residents and business addresses. I have reviewed numerous videos that were collected and have conversations with other Mascow Police Department officers, Idaho State Police detectives, and FBI agents that are similarly reviewing footage that was obtained. A review of a camera footage indicated that a white sedan, hereinafter referred to as the suspect vehicle 1. Oh, that scares me. Suspect vehicle 1. Is there more than one vehicle? We're going to have to check this out. A review of camera footage indicating that a white sedan, hereinafter suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indiana Drive in Mascow. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to have to 700 block Indiana Hills. Sorry, guys. I want to know where this is. So I'm going to let's back this up. I want to pin this. So let me put this in north so I know which way. Okay, so it looks like he was, what did they say? I just had this up. Maybe I need to. All right, let me pull this back because I don't want to dox me. Oh, thank you, Amber Time. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Oh, it's cute. Thank you. Give me just a second. I got to find the PDF. There it is. I found it. Is this the PDF? No, it's not the PDF. Let me block that. It's not Pains. Okay, so we're here. Okay. Let me move this over to the right. So they're saying, let me pull this back up. So they're saying westbound. So I've got this pointing north. So it's westbound, and this only goes this way. So it looks like he had this travel. This is Indian Hills Drive right here. So he was going westbound. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a pinpoint here. And traveling. Okay. It's large. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and back this up and see where it is in conjunction with the house. So they're all outside of, this is where they seen him traveling way over here. And this is where their target area that they told us they were looking. We're going to have a discussion about this in a second, because now I'm starting to see a much bigger picture here than what we know. And we're going, now I've got a theory. So we see that at approximately 326 and westbound on Steiner Avenue at Idaho Highway 95. So let's find out where Steiner Avenue is and Highway 95. So, and westbound on Steiner. Steiner Avenue, let's find out where that is. So there it is, and I-95 is right here. This is I-95 right there. So Steiner Avenue is right here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to change these. I want to change these colors to something a little bit different. That's all right. So okay, so there's Steiner Avenue right there. So this is where the pen needs to be. And he was going westbound. So it looks like he was going in this way. Westbound. So he's going in this way. Was his way of travel. Okay. Or he may have been here because this is I-95. So he actually might have been over here. over here because they were going westbound over toward 95. So I think he was over here. And I wonder, we don't even have his stuff docked in here. So we got some calendaring stuff to do, or some other stuff. So we'll do that. We'll put all this information in the map, and we'll get a certain interactive map on what we found out. Yes, the sheathing is solid DNA evidence. Absolutely, Caroline. That to me is going to be hard for defense to explain. So let's read this. So on Steiner Avenue at Idaho State Highway 95 in Mascow at approximately 3:28 a.m. On this video, it appears the suspect's vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. A review of footage from multiple videos obtained from King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4:20 a.m. So they have reviewed footage from multiple videos obtained from King Road neighborhood, showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting from 3:30 to 4:20. 3:30 to 4:20. That is, that again is going to be hard to explain. Hold on a second. I just realized I need to take something off. A change. I want to get more. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta change the once it won't let me delete my cover photo, so I've got to do something else with it. Let me change it. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so and they said the sighting shows suspect vehicle 1 making initial 3 passes by 1122 King Road residents, then leaving via Walinta Drive. A lot of people pointed out Walinta Drive. Based off my experience as a patrol officer, this is a residential neighborhood with very limited number of vehicles that travel in the area during the early morning hours. Upon reviewing of the video, there are only a few cars that enter and exit this area during this time frame. Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a 4th time, approximately 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driven southeast bound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 King Road, then driving back westbound on King Road. When the suspect's vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of King Road and Queen Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn, then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. That means if it's going south, if it's going eastbound, that means it's going toward the apartment complex, entering the area again. Suspect vehicle 1 is seen departing the area of King Road residence at approximately 4:20 at a high rate of speed. Suspect vehicle 1 is next observed traveling southbound on Walinta Drive. Based on my knowledge of the area and review of camera footage in the neighborhood, that does not show suspect's vehicle during that time frame. I believe the suspect's vehicle likely exited the neighborhood at the Palouse River Drive and Conestoga Drive. Palouse River Drive is at the southern end of Mascow and proceeds into Whitman County, Washington. Eventually, the road leads to Pullman, Washington. Pullman, Washington is approximately 10 miles from Mascow, Idaho. Both Pullman and Mascow are small college towns and people commonly travel back and forth between them. Law enforcement provided video footage of the suspect's vehicle to forensic examiners, with the FBI investigator at a regular utilized surveillance footage to identify the year, make, and model of the unknown vehicle that is observed by one or more of the cameras during the commission of the criminal offense. The forensic examiner, approximately 35 years law enforcement experience with 12 years at the FBI. His specific training includes identifying unique characteristics of vehicles, and he uses a database that gives him visual clues of vehicles across the state to identify the differences between vehicles. After reviewing numerous observations of suspect vehicle 1, the forensic examiner initially believed the suspect vehicle 1 was between 2011 and 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Upon further review, he indicated it could be a 2011 to 2016 Elantra. As a result of the investigators have been reviewing information on persons in possession of vehicles from 2011 to 2016 white Elantra. Well, they obviously knew that three additional years were added to that year, and we were never ever provided that information. We were never provided that information. We were still looking for a 2011 to 2013. Was that intentional? You know what? We're going to discuss my theory here after I'm done reading this. Investigators were given access to video footage on Washington State University Wazoo campus located in Pullman, Washington. A review of that video indicates that at approximately 2:44 a.m. on November 13th, a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra as suspect vehicle 1, was obtained on Wazoo surveillance camera traveling north on Southeast Nevada Street to Northeast Stadium Way at approximately 2:53 a.m. The white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra known as suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington, toward State Road 270, which connects Pullman to Mascow. This camera footage from Pullman was provided to the same FBI forensic examiner. The forensic examiner identified the vehicle observed in Pullman, Washington as being a 2014 to 2016 white Elantra. At approximately 5:25 a.m., white sedan, which is consistent with the description of suspect vehicle 1, was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman, Washington, and on WSU campus cameras. The first camera that recorded the white sedan was located at 1300 Johnson Road in Pullman. The white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road. Johnson Road leads directly back to West Palouse River Drive in Mascow, which intersects with Conestoga Drive. The white sedan was then observed traveling north on Bishop Boulevard and northwest on 270. At approximately 5:27 a.m., the white Elantra was observed on camera traveling northbound on Stadium Way at Nevada Street, Stadium Way at Gaines Way, Stadium Drive at Wilson Road, and Stadium Way at Cougar Way. Depiction of showing Mascow and Pullman. So that's just showing you, they're giving an aerial of Mascow. Depiction showing white Elantra's path of travel. So apparently this photo is supposed to show the white Elantra's path of travel, but I don't see, oh, there we go. And it's pointing out all the different things. It's showing the apartment building over there. It's showing where the white Elantra was seen. These are the little legends, so you can make heads or tails. So it's just showing you in and around this whole entire area he was just at. So the white Elantra was seen here. The white Elantra was seen here. These red arrows here was white Elantra returning to the Wazoo campus. Right here, they're following his direction of travel. So you can see it coming in, you know, and I'm pretty sure you can see it going out, but I can't see it on this one, but I can see it on this one. On November 25th, Mascow Police Department asked area law enforcement agencies to be on the lookout for a white Hyundai Elantra in the area. On November 29th at approximately 2:28 a.m., Washington State University Police Daniel Tanoga queried white Elantras registered at Wazoo. Give me just a second. Just curious. I'm allowed to be curious. I'm allowed to be curious. All right, where is my Wazoo? There it is. This was done. Actually, I can give my channel. Probably easier to see the date on my channel.
Thanks, Tom.
I just wanted to see something. I don't want to. Where is? I know I put more than just this in the description. Edit video, download. I just want to see what, there it is. Change these things up. Doesn't say what date. It usually says what date. December. So it was 2 days after this was uploaded, or 2 days before. It was 2 days before this was uploaded that they were pulling stuff from Wazoo. I was just curious. I seriously was just literally just curious. So on 11/29, so that was during literally our first trip. Literally our first trip there. They already had him in his radars, and we were none the wiser. And I kept telling everybody, I have a funny feeling they have somebody in the radar. I don't know why, I just knew it. As a result of the query, they located a 2015 white Elantra with Pennsylvania plates LFZ 8649. This vehicle was registered to Bryan Kohberger, here and after Kohberger, residing at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment 201. 1630 Northeast Valley Road is approximately 3/4 of a mile from the intersection of Stadium Way and Cougar Way. And if you guys remember, we were at the Coug. Last camera location that picked up the white Elantra. That same day at approximately 12:58 a.m., Wazoo Officer Curtis Whitman was looking for white Elantras and located a 2015 white Elantra at 1630 Northeast Valley Road in Pullman in a parking lot. The 1630 Valley Road is an apartment complex at a houses Wazoo students. Officer Whitman also ran the car, and it returned back to Kohberger with a Washington tag. I reviewed Kohberger's Washington driver's license information and photograph. The license indicated that Kohberger is a white male with a height of 6 foot and 185 pounds. Additionally, the photograph of Kohberger shows that he has bushy eyebrows. Kohberger physical description is consistent with the description of the male Dylan Mortensen saw inside the King Road residence on November 13th. Further investigation, including a review of Latah County Sheriff's Office deputies, Corporal Duke's body camera and reports, shows that on August 21st, 2022, Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop that occurred in Mascow. He was actually detained in that traffic stop I brought up to you guys. And on August 21st, if you guys remember, if you guys were on Dolly Vision's channel, I was in there and I dropped him all the information that I found about this stop. I did not know at that time that he was actually detained. But at the time, he was the sole occupant driving a 2015 white Elantra with Pennsylvania plates, which set to expire on November 30th, 2022. During the stop, which was recorded via a law enforcement body camera, Kohberger provided his phone number as blank, 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 8458, here and after the 8458 phone, his cellular telephone. Investigators conducted electronic database queries and learned that the 8458 phone is a number issued by AT&T. On October 14th, Bryan Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop by Wazoo police officer. Upon review of that body cam report of the stop, Kohberger was the sole occupant and was driving the white 2015 Hyundai Elantra with Pennsylvania license plate LFZ 8649. On November 18th, according to Washington State licensing, Kohberger registered. So on November 18th, this is 5 days after the murders, 5 days. According to Washington State licensing, Kohberger registered his 2015 white Elantra with Washington and later received Washington plate CFB 8708. Prior to this time, the 2015 white Elantra was registered in Pennsylvania, which does not require front plates to be displayed. This was learned through communications with a Pennsylvania officer who is currently certified in the state of Pennsylvania. Based on my own experience and communication with Washington law enforcement, I know that Idaho and Washington require front and back license plate to be displayed. Investigators believe that Kohberger is still driving the 2015 Elantra because his vehicle was captured on December 13th by a license plate reader in Loma, Colorado. Information provided by a query to a database. Kohberger's Elantra was then queried on December 15th by law enforcement in Hancock, Indiana. On December 16th, at approximately 2:26 p.m., surveillance video shows Kohberger's Elantra in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. The sole occupant of the vehicle was a white male whose description was consistent with Kohberger. Kohberger has family in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, learned through a TLO search and locate tool database. Based on information provided on the Wazoo website, Kohberger is currently a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University, pursuant to records provided by the members of the interview panel for the Pullman Police Department. We learned that Kohberger's past education included undergraduate degree in psychology and cloud-based forensics. These records also show Kohberger wrote an essay when he applied for the internship with the Pullman Police Department in fall of 2002. Kohberger wrote in his essay that he had an interest in assisting rural law enforcement agency with how better to collect and analyze technological data in public safety operations. Kohberger also posted a Reddit survey, which can be found on an open source internet search. The survey asked for participation to provide an understanding how emotions and psychological traits influence the decision making when committing a crime. As part of the investigation, law enforcement obtained search warrants to determine cellular device that utilized cellular towers in close proximity to King Road residents on November 13th between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. After determining that Kohberger was associated with both the 2015 white Elantra and the 8458 phone, investigators reviewed the search warrant returns. The query of the 8458 phone in these returns did not show the 8458 phone utilized cellular tower resources in close proximity to King Road between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. So a query of the phone in these return did not show that the phone utilized any of those towers between 3 and 5 a.m. Based on my training experience and conversation with law enforcement officers that specialized in utilization of cellular telephone records as part of investigations, individuals can either leave their cellular telephone at a different location before committing a crime or turn their cellular telephone off prior to going to the location to commit the crime. This is done by subjects in an effort to avoid alerting law enforcement that the cellular device associated with them was in a particular area where a crime scene was committed. I also know that on numerous occasions, the suspect will surveil an area where they intend to commit a crime prior to the date of crime. Depending on the circumstances, this could be done a few days before or several months prior to the commission of a crime. During these types of surveillance, it is possible that the individual would not leave their cellular phone at a separate location or turn it off since they do not plan to commit the crime or the offense on that particular day. On December 23rd, I applied for and was granted a search warrant for historical phone records between November 12th, 12 a.m. and November 14th, 12 a.m. for the 8458 phone held by provider AT&T approximately 24 hours preceding to the following times of the homicide. On December 23rd, pursuant to the search warrant, I received those records for, now we're knowing why it took so long, because they're still building the case. They're still getting the records. This is very interesting on how they exactly built this case, and we can use this as a template on timing for other records to come in on other cases. So I will be printing this off, and we will be utilizing this for work in the future. But this is a very good understanding of what and how they built this case against Bryan Kohberger. It seems very thorough to me so far from a legal professional. They are really building this case in this affidavit, and they're building it well in my professional opinion. Thank you for reading this and explaining it. I don't think I could get through it. I love you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I am getting through it, and we are going to be just discussing it. I'm going to be talking a little bit about it. Somebody needs to keep my time watched because it's 12. Shoot, I've got to go. So let me get through this real quick. We got just a few more pages, and then we'll have a discussion. I've got to be back at work, or not work. I got to be back at the BOCC meeting in 45 minutes. So I didn't realize time went by this quickly, but it has. Wow. On December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to the search warrant, I received the records for 8458 phone from AT&T. These records indicated that 84 phone was subscribed to Bryan Kohberger at the address in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, and the account has been open since June 23rd, 2022. These records also include historical cell site information for 8458 phone. After receiving this information, I consulted with the FBI special agent that certified as a member of a cellular analysis survey team, member of CAS, are certified with the FBI to provide expert testimony in the field of historical CSLI, and are required to pass extensive training, includes both written and practical examinations prior to being certified as CAS, as well as completion of yearly certification requirements. Additionally, the FBI CAS SA that I consulted has over 15 years of federal law enforcement experience, which includes 6 years with the FBI. From information provided by CAS, I was able to determine the estimated location for the 8458 phone from November 12th to November 13th, the time period authorized by the court. On November 13th at approximately 2:42 a.m., the phone was utilizing cellular service that provided coverage to the 630 Pullman address, Kohberger's residence. At approximately 2:47, utilized resources provided coverage on the southeast of the residence, consistent with the 8458 phone, leaving the Kohberger's residence and traveling through Pullman, Washington. This is consistent with the movement of the white Elantra. At approximately 2:47, the 8458 phone stops reporting the network, which is consistent with either the phone being in an area without cellular coverage, the connection to the network is disabled, such as putting the phone in airplane mode, or the phone is turned off. 8458 phone does not report to a network again until approximately 4:48 in the morning. So about a 2-hour window at which it started utilizing that coverage and was on, Highway 95 in Mascow near Bullhorn, Idaho. And we're going to track this when I have some time. We're going to track his movements ourselves. Between 5:40 a.m. and 5:26 a.m., the phone utilized cellular towers that are consistent with the 8458 traveling on Indiana State Highway 95, and then traveling toward Uniontown, Idaho, and then back into Pullman at approximately 5:30 a.m. So I bet you he dropped the knife somewhere in these travels. I bet you he did. I almost want to go back and search. At approximately 5:30 a.m., 8458 phone utilized sources that provided coverage to Pullman and consistent with the phone traveling back to Kohberger's residence. The 8458 phone movement consistent with movements of the white Elantra observed traveling south. So they're using the photos of the videos of the white Elantra as well as the cell networks to show that he's moving with the car. And they also set it up that he was the only person that was frequently driving the car, that he was there by himself, that every time he's been pulled over, it's just been him and he's always been alone. So it's really establishing that he would be the only one that had the access to the car. The sheathing, the knife weapon, the murder weapon itself had his DNA on it. The sheathing of the murder weapon, that is not going to be hard to explain away in a court of law when you're going to try to say that you've been in that house for a party. Well, you may have been in the house for the party, but that knife wasn't. So how did your DNA get on that knife? That's going to be hard to explain. Now you've got the cellular data along with the videos following both the car and him, and he has bushy eyes. And I cannot believe Dylan Mortensen did not call law enforcement when she saw a guy in a ski mask in her house. She locks the door, and she hears whimpering. Wow. She's probably going to blame herself literally forever. And she did nothing wrong, but just got terrified. And she was in shock and froze. That's so sad. So then it just goes, it looks like his direction of travel. Below is a depiction, not a scale, of the possible route taken based off cellular site locations. So now we finally see the route that this man took to commit this heinous crime from his house to their house. He went to great lengths to try to cover his tracks, which he did not do a good job. Investigators found that 8458 phone did connect to a cell tower that provided service to Mascow on November 14th, but investigators do not believe the 84 was in Mascow on that date. They believe the 8458 phone was not connected to any towers that provided service to Mascow since that date. Based on my training experience, the facts of the investigation thus far is I believe that Kohberger, the user of the 8458 phone, was likely the driver of the white Elantra that is observed pulling our departing Pullman. And this is the vehicle is likely suspect vehicle 1. Additionally, the route of travel of the 84 phone during the early morning hours of November 13th and the lack of 8458 phone reporting to AT&T between 2:47 and 4:48 is consistent with Kohberger attempting to conceal his location during the quadruple homicide. On December 23rd, 2022, I was granted a search warrant for Kohberger's historical SL data from June 2022 to current, prospective location information and PIN registered trap and trace on the 8458 phone to aid efforts to determine if Kohberger is stalking any of the victims in the case. Prior to the offense, conducted surveillance on the King Road residence, was in contact with any of the victims associated before or after the alleged offense, any location that may contain evidence of the murder that occurred on November 13th, the location of the white Elantra registered Kohberger, as well as the location of Kohberger. On December 23rd, pursuant to the search warrant, they received the historical records of 8458 phone from AT&T from time the account was open in June 2022. After consulting CAST, I was able to determine an estimated location for the phone from June to the present and the time period authorized by court. The record for the 8454 phone showed the phone utilized cell resources to provide coverage in the area of 1122 King Road on at least 12 occasions. 12 occasions prior to November 13, 12. I told you that he went there multiple times. I told you that. I told you that the first day my feet landed on that thing, I said, this is not these kids. This is somebody from the peripheral. This was bad. I stated that I thought this person had visited this house multiple times. Now we're finding out I literally thought 2 or 3, maybe 4 times. 12 times. 12. Prior to November 13. All of these occasions, except for one, occurred in the late evening and early hours of their prospective dates. He was creeping. 12 times. Of these occasions, on August 21st, 2022, the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources providing coverage to King Road residents. 10:34 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. At approximately 11:37, Kohberger was stopped by Latah County Sheriff Corporal Duke, mentioned as above. The 8548 phone was utilized consistent with the location of the traffic stop during the Farm Road Pullman Highway stops. So they are actually connecting this phone with Kohberger by the stops he's had with other law enforcement officers. Further analysis of the cellular tower provided shows that 845 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13, consistent with the phone traveling from Pullman, Washington to Lewiston, Idaho via I-95. At approximately 12:36, the phone utilized resources provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe. Kate's Cup of Joe stand located at 810 Port Drive in Clarkston, Washington. Surveillance footage from the U.S. Chef store located at 820 Ports Drive in Clarkston, Washington, and adjacent to the Kate's Cup of Joe showed a white Elantra consistent with suspect vehicle 1 drive past Kate's Cup at the time, consistent with cellular data from 8548 phone. Approximately 12:46, the 8458 phone then utilized cellular data in the area of Albertson's grocery store. Surveillance footage obtained by Albertson showed Kohberger exiting the white Elantra consistent with the suspect's vehicle 1. So they're showing that he's the only person, and they're showing every place that he stopped, and they're getting surveillance and showing he was the only occupant of that car. And that is crucial because he doesn't want him saying, well, so-and-so borrowed my car. Out of all this time, he's never loaned his car out, nor has been seen with anyone else in his car the entire time he is here, with the exception of his travels back to Pennsylvania with his father. Additional analysis of records indicated between 5:32 p.m. and 5:36 p.m. the phone utilized cellular data providing coverage to Johnson, Idaho. Then stops reporting the network from approximately 5:36 to 8:30. That's consistent with the phone being in the area that the 84 traveled in the hours immediately following the suspect's time the homicide occurred. December 27, Pennsylvania agents recovered trash from Kohberger's family residence, Albright, Pennsylvania. The evidence was sent to Idaho State Lab for testing. On December 28, the Idaho State Police reported the DNA profile obtained from the trash and the DNA profile from this sheath identified a male is not being excluded as the biological father of suspect profile. At least 99.999 of the male population would be expected to be excluded from the possibility of being the suspect's biological father. Based on the information above, I'm requesting an arrest warrant. So genealogy did matter. They got dad's DNA, which connected Bryan Kohberger to the sheathing found next to Maddie's body. I think it was either Maddie or Zana's body. I can't remember which. I got to go back and reread it. So it goes on, 4 counts of murder. I declare under penalty of perjury. Guys, this is thorough. I got to wrap up here. This by far is the best news that we've had in a really long time related to this case, a really, really long time. I'm very pleased with the fact that we were able to go out there. I'm pleased that we were right behind law enforcement in identifying that there was a possibility of this person coming from Washington State University. I'm very pleased that we were able to take the information that was provided to us to get a good idea of who may have done this. While we didn't know his name, we knew what kind of person we were looking for. What is upsetting to me about law enforcement is that, one, they did kind of lie to the public. And I know they lied to the public to throw this guy off. It seems early on he was, and this is another thing that I brought up here to us, is that they must know who they are looking for. They seem confident way up front in clearing a bunch of people. And that was super important. And there was a reason. I kept saying there's a reason they're doing this. We've never seen this done in another case before. And we were seeing that. And I was right on that, that analysis. What we got right here is that, we did identify that it was possible that this person was at Washington State University. We brought that up shortly behind them. And I don't even know when that was recorded. That could have been recorded the day it was released. I don't know. Thank you for reading this to us. Dolly rocks as well. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. And what are the other things that we got right? Now we're learning that he was there at the house multiple times. I knew that. I told you guys, and I bet you there's been multiple times he was going to commit this act and he chickened out for whatever reason. We're probably going to find that to be true as well. Yeah, they got him through his father's DNA. So genealogy match did help in this case. It surely did. We got to plug all these addresses in so we can follow his rate of travel. Dylan, Christine, is one of the roommates, the surviving roommates. This guy walked right past her in black clothing and masks over his face. I also told Olivia, I bet you anything, because of this kind, the personality I have identified while he was killing Kaylee and Maddie, he would have pulled down his mask and showed his face, or pulled it up and showed his face. I truly believe he did that. I don't know why I have that feeling, but just now knowing who he is, that is the feeling I have. I have this feeling that he went to Washington to pull off this. I think he didn't know who his victim was going to be until they were identified. He studied them and he tracked them down. Is this his first kill? Many are asking. I don't know. We do have some things like the dog being skinned, right? That was important. Could that have been his trial run? We now know what kind of person we're dealing with. Yes, that is plausible. Law enforcement told us there's no way that that's connected. I don't know if I believe that 100% now, because we know they kept a lot of stuff away from us so they wouldn't trigger the suspect. It sounds like from at least November 29th, they knew of this man and they've been tracking his movements and they've been looking into him very closely, at least from the 29th. That's huge. Okay, guys, the 29th of November, the 29th of November, they've been watching him and getting information on him and digging on him. And that was, 16 days, 15 to 16 days after these kids were brutally murdered. So they work very quickly. Now that we're seeing even more of their work, we want to just tell people we back the Blue. They did an amazing job in this case. We're glad that this man is behind bars. And if they can prove what is in this probable cause affidavit, this man ain't getting out of jail. He's not getting out of jail. We got the guy. Okay? If they can prove everything that is alleged in this affidavit, we got a slam dunk. This guy ain't going nowhere. So with that, guys, I love each and every one of you. God bless. I got to head back to my BOCC meeting. Again, that is one of my priorities, is to make sure that I am fully involved with YouTube as well as my political priorities here as we push our agenda, the Bullhorn Betty channel agenda, through. This is going to take some time, but we have three. Just to inform the people that are just coming in, we have three major legislative priorities on this channel for the work that we do. And I'm going to be going, not only am I going to be fighting here at home, I'm also going to be, as we go and travel around the country covering the true crime cases, I will be meeting with the politicians in the areas to go over some of our priorities. And for those that don't know what our priorities are, I'm pulling them up now so you guys can see that we're not messing around here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We are taking it to the people that can help us push these agenda items through. I guarantee, I am the only YouTuber in the true crime industry here on YouTube that puts my money where my mouth is, right? I don't just walk the walk. I don't just talk the talk. I walk the walk, right? So here is no different. We are pushing this through as we go from county to county. We're also going to be meeting with politicians because this is a United States problem, not just a Florida problem, and I plan on pushing this through. So for those, I'm involved in my county. Here are our legislative priorities for the Bullhorn Betty channel, and it's to whom they may concern. There are three major priorities I will be working on for the next few years and will need support of this board and the state of Florida as a whole. 1, tougher cyber stalking laws for individuals over 18. I have suggestions that might help since I've lived through this the last year. A centralized database for all cases related to child welfare so states can communicate between each other when cases stretch across state lines. Sex trafficking. Government statistics don't match my findings. This is a much bigger issue than we are led to believe, and this stretches across the world. I would like to start meeting with each of you related to these above priorities and provide you my thoughts about each. Please do not respond at all. I'm always worried about sunshine law violations, so I always remind them, there's multiple government entities on here and they have to respond to me individually. So there are no, record law violations with my politicians. Never want to get them in trouble for working with me and, trying to get these agenda items pushed through. But we are working on them. People don't understand that when I see a problem, I don't complain about it. I do something about it. And that's the difference between me and the rest of these jellyfish floating around here in the sea of YouTube. So with that, guys, God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I've got a lot of work to do, and part of that work is being down at my county commission meetings. So I will see you next time. God bless each and every one of you. And to all my favorite creators out there, if they're not here in this chat, please be sure, I know you guys are in that chat, make sure you give them a warm welcome from the Bullhorn Betty channel and the Coffee Club. I love each and every one of you. God bless. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, you have to say something, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Good day.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.